Okay, and after all the fires finished burning down, we found him in the little crater, and we named him Squiggly Smooch. Isn't he adorable?
He is very adorable.
He looks so
What was the
cute.
name?
Squiddly Spooch.
Squealy Smooch?
Squiddly Spooch. Squishable unicorn.
Well, free Shabakadu.
It honestly only costed about 136 human lives, but he's adorable. And
Just
cost
136.
for
That
Literal
is
spawn
so
of
cheap.
Satan.
So what you're saying is you have a Philosopher's Stone.
The cost for
In
art.
unicorn form. All you have to do is feed it pancakes twice a day, and it won't steal yours.
it also likes rainbow sprinkle cupcakes.
So
No,
now
it
it's
farts
11.
those.
This thing has
you'll-
psychic powers too.
Well, it does tell us it wants pancakes a lot, though it doesn't have a mouth. So, yes, I believe it has psychic powers.
Stuck in my past, about to relapse. I keep running back to you.
And everyone, welcome back to what Granzarg is, the podcast, the only podcast on the planet that is less professional but very professional. It's very confusing, Tovarish. We will go over this later, over turnip soup and a gun to your head. As we begin said podcast, you have myself, you have me, Vi, you have the vampire Viking slash sailor scout vampire of Saley, you have the mark with the mouth of Hobbs slash Erin, and then joining us as always of the lord and lady of the dark arts and also of killing things in the supernatural world, you have Shweebe Phoenix! You're all probably wondering how I can do this voice and then go to high pitch. Well, that's because I'm amazing. Anyway.
I thought it was because you had a vice on your nutsack. Am I doing it wrong?
Don't give away the secret things. God.
Anyway, today's topic, we're discussing art.
What is art? Actually, this is what grinds my gears.
And also, what isn't art, which grinds my gears as an artist.
So, where is the line, V? Where is the line? What is considered art and what is not considered art? Because I know that I cannot walk up to something that someone has claimed to be art and say that that's not art. But in my head, I am saying that's not art.
Actually, you can. People do it all the time, and it's like, oh man, this whole painting of you just splashing paint around is glorious. No, the fuck it's not. All he did was just sprinkle some paint drops around.
It's abstract art.
Yeah, that's where they lose me. Okay, now, I get the older abstract art. I mean, there's some artists out there that fucking cut their ears off and shit to get their point across to a hooker before they died.
Damn it, Picasso.
He was very passionate.
He was.
Yes.
I can even get the whole, as weird as Andy Warhol was, I get like his would be like contemporary, right?
Contemporary or like pop art.
Right, pop. That's where he was basically the innovator of pop art with the Campbell's tomato soup cans.
And then whatever that one chick's face
that.
was that he did like 4 copies of in different colors and styles.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And I could say, yeah, okay, it's simple, it's easy, and the guy made, a lot of money off of it. And he has an explanation for it, and a lot of them are deep, and if anybody ever hung out with him, he's a fucking weirdo, right?
I mean, his best friend was Jean-Baptiste Basquiat.
But, I mean, I get it. I get it. I can consider that art. Then there are things that I just... No. I can't walk into an art studio and walk up to a canvas and there's a dot on it. And then the description of the art actually is more artistic than what is on the canvas. Like, if I have to explain why there's a dot on this canvas, there's a problem with your art.
Let me put it this way. I believe art is anything where the artist actually has to try in order to create it.
There you
I think that's a fine definition for it. Because
You are absolutely right, but that totally blows my next person out of the water. You destroyed it right there. Because she tries very hard. She puts her own body at
Nita
risk.
Abramovic, the performance art / live artist who was in the same circuit as the person that would be doing a naked monologue while in twisted, contorted manner, also being friends with someone that read a monologue that she kept pulling slowly out of her vagina.
Or my favorite, getting paid to vomit on people.
That's not art. That's
It is.
disgusting.
Lady Gaga paid her to do it.
Because getting to do it without killing yourself is, I think, an art in and of itself.
I mean, it's live art because you're trying to go the distance of your own imagination and limits to create something that goes beyond the boundaries. Kind of like
Yeah.
I remember in this one live performance when I remember it was my grandpa trying to cheer me up when I was 14. He flew me to Scotland for like this underground art thing where it was just 17 people with like all these open cut wounds trying to do a live performance blood art before they passed out. And at the end of it, it was actually a giant menagerie of different flowers to form into the face of this patron saint that they all worshipped.
That's
Sounds
pretty
like a cult.
You'd think that,
Sorry.
but no.
Painful.
It's contemporary live art for the only
But either
reason
way,
many
that
things
one
do.
had a point. Like they went through this struggle, this pain and suffering to create something beautiful, and it was, right? I don't get the whole vomiting thing. She's putting effort into it, she's trying, she's putting her whole self into it, and she didn't die. So I give her that, like Phoenix said. But what is the end? What is the point of it?
By that same standard, then, Shamu must be an amazing artist. He is constantly flashing.
Exactly! A whale in captivity.
I'll say this though, art.
Well, actually, speaking of animals that were in captivity, did you guys hear about the art world getting rocked? I think it was 7, 8 years ago, where this amazing artist hit the scene with this contemporary design, and it was beautiful, bold, classic. You know, all these different people from the major art community were in love with this artist, and he sold probably about 15 to 20 pieces for millions of dollars a piece. And then some scientists decided to reveal it was actually a lab monkey that they were having just giving paint in the lab and going, here, have at a canvas. And then taking it to the art world under a pseudonym and sold it that way. And these people fucking ate it up.
Well, this is where what I'm about to say actually makes a whole lot of sense then. Art, I think, honestly, is in the eye of the beholder or those that are viewing it, because as most of us here agree, the lady vomiting on people is not art. Or at least we don't think so. There are
We
plenty
know
of people, I'm
this.
sure she had crazy fans that were like, oh my god, it's just so gorgeous. I need this in every wall of my house.
It speaks
Whatever.
volumes.
If that's your thing, that's fine. My art style is very weird. But that's what I particularly like.
Which
So,
gets back to the point. We have a right to say it's not art, but at the same time, it's still art.
true.
Yes.
I don't think there is a definitive of what is and what is not, because we talked about this today. I don't know. There was this guy he made a gift to a king that was the perfect circle. It is still considered art, even though it's just a circle, but mathematically you can't get any more perfect than this damn thing. But still considered art.
I know the
Was
story.
the king
you're
a
talking about.
cat? Because I think a cat would love a perfect circle just to sit in.
Just
But now, here's the only problem that I have with this. If we're going to eliminate the boundaries of what is art and what is not art, which you have to do because art is art. It's supposed to push the limit of what's conceivably, original and imaginative. And anyways, what about those people that set those prices for those art pieces? I mean, it just seems to me, and I know this isn't the way it is, but it just seems to me like that there's this group of people that have these studios or whatever, and they're the ones that set this benchmark of price of what's considered art, or they're the ones that decide what is art.
You're absolutely right, though.
You
That's
know what
the
I mean?
thing.
The
That
fact
is exactly
a very
how it is.
small group of people are setting what the precedence is, and that is based on money, not on actual art talent.
Exactly, which is what I was going to get to. So they're passing shit off that is literally shit
Yes.
Mhm.
as art and not doing their job. Well, I don't think it's even a job, because how do you get in a position like that? You know, you
You have to have the highest of upright noses in order to do that job.
but
Here's
like,
the thing, though, they are doing their job. Their job is to sell paintings, and they are doing it beautifully and selling them for a lot of money.
Even though they are
Especially
still shit.
Garbage. So
Oh,
they are doing a beautiful job.
of scamming people.
pretty much. The best one that I heard recently was this little 5-year-old. They considered this art, mind you. I don't even know what possessed this kid to do this. But she had this little piece of wood with a nail that would stick through it. Like one of the train nails that are like 6 inches long or something. And she
Yeah,
was
railroad
taking
spike.
perfect squares of paper and stacking it on there, one at a time, until it reached the very top. That sold for millions of dollars. This little 5-year-old kid is filthy fucking rich.
Well,
for
now hold on.
paper on a nail on a piece of wood.
Still more artistic than barf. Anyways,
True.
It's not true. Because if she can do, like, you know, the Pantera or AC/DC logo on my chest, I will consider that art. Just, holy crap, it looks like Ozzy.
but
Wait, well,
so who was the one that decided that 5-year-old's art was worth that much? Who decided that, and who were her parents?
I think I can feel this answer.
Go ahead.
I remember when I was trying to get back into the art scene a couple of years back from one of my friends that, well, not even a friend, it's just a friend of a friend, but they can all eat dicks. Anyway, they were trying to talk to me about
That's
all the stuff
artistic,
that
stop
I do artistically with abstract art and whatnot, and they tried to tell me that they would need to sell it as an angle and a story by trying to be like, if you could just divulge your whole personal history from the years of abuse that you suffered from ages 1 to 9, to the drug habits that you had, to just sell off that you're a tragic artist, to make the art sell more as a sob story that they could just spin and then make it into a marketable event. Or if you were to be someone that was younger, maybe 5, 6, they could do the passing whole thing of like, it's an aspiring artist trying to go into the art world, and we're just trying to make sure they have that big jump start to make sure they make all the big whole memorabilia stuff. That's kind of where a lot of the big bullshitty things come into play, because so many art dealers, not curators who love to study the art process itself, but art dealers want to make sure that they have a selling angle no matter what the art really means represents. It only means to them what, at the end of the day, their whole big cash out is at the biggest expense.
So basically, this agent walks up to this 5-year-old and is like, huh, that's kind of amazing. Let's see what we can get for that.
More or less.
Kind of.
No, he didn't even go that far. He was standing about 20 feet away and goes, I could probably sell that for $3 million. Yeah, don't worry, already spinning right now.
Mm-hmm.
I should go talk to the parents, see if I can't get that off them.
And of course they're gonna be like, fuck yes.
Yeah, because they make 70% of whatever it sells for. It's your
So
minus
I
commission.
think, have you guys ever seen the, it was an artist who did all these different types of drugs and drew a self-portrait of himself on each one of the different drugs? Like he did one when he was high, and he did one when he was drunk. He did one when he was on LSD, one when he was on heroin. And like each one, now I'm sorry, you put all of them on a canvas side by side, that is art,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Like I could totally see that.
Yeah, I think the
Doing
main
something.
thing with art is you gotta remember it's, more often than not, self-expression. Your view on the world in whatever form you like. Doesn't mean everybody's gonna understand it. That
Microphone.
girl with the paper and crap. I don't get it. I don't consider it art because that I don't understand that life. What does this represent? Insanity? I have no idea.
Against the
But to
microphone,
her, she
five-year-old.
was happy with it. She kept freaking doing it. So good on her. But to her, that could be like her most gorgeous work she's ever made. We don't know.
One other reason why it's hard to disprove art is because to every individual, what art is it is an object or theme that speaks to them. Thus, anything that doesn't speak to them, or in fact says the opposite of what an art object they believe should, is automatically discredited as not art. Here's the problem. Others may come into that and go, well, you know what? Sucking dick is an art.
So is
I'm just pointing that out. It really is. It is an art, and we're going to
true.
gloss over that whole concept. But some people don't believe that. But others do. That crossfire is what...
On that note, but wait,
Okay,
finish what you're going to say,
that
though.
was
No, that was
pretty
your...
much
Oh, no,
it.
okay, so there is an actual art form, whatever you want to call it, whatever your belief is. It's called sex art. Literally, these two couples in front of a live audience will have
I
sex.
told Sally about this in her stream.
Yep.
It's true. We saw a documentary on it. I was like, what? And people just go there and sit there like, wow.
A bunch of
I
art
haven't been
stuff.
laid in
See,
5
Sally,
years.
I
This
told
is
you.
amazing.
No,
That
to
is
be
a
fair,
fine
though,
ball sack
good
there.
sex is an art.
And then they would do like fire tricks and stuff while they were, and I'm like, okay.
So I don't want to try to discredit any art. I guess the part that grinds my gears is it feels like art nowadays has become more of a paycheck than what I was taught art was supposed to be, right? You know, the starving artist, which if you've been to a store and seen how much canvases cost nowadays, I can totally see how you would starve as an artist.
Right. It's more like they're like, what can I do to get the most money now without any passion at all?
And I think that's what pisses me off about it. It's not so it's not that it's not art. It's that it's the laziest fucking art that I've ever seen in my life.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's like these people, they spend more time trying to think up a backstory as to how they got to this conclusion than they actually did on the piece itself.
Right.
Yeah.
The expression is in their words, not what's on the canvas or not what they're actually showing, which upsets me. I mean, it's still art, but I think it should be, well, it's written down, or this is your idea. This was what was in your head. It should be poetry. You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of, I'm going to get paid $3 million for this freaking canvas. But you can't get paid to be a poet like that anymore.
No.
No.
You know, you can go stand in a coffee shop and whatnot and do these poetry sketches and whatnot like they used to do with the... or no, it was the... Yeah, the clicks.
It's more like B-rated art compared to like the actual gems that are out there.
But
And that-
I mean, it that's what grinds my gears. It's, people have been exploiting it to get that paycheck, and it's not even like. And then you see these artists out there who are the starving artists, the ones that are actually trying to do their passion, and they're living in a freaking box, and you know, giving BJ's through a glory hole to buy their next canvas and oil set.
Yeah.
To create something beautiful. You know,
and
I don't mean that literally. I'm sure there's not many artists out there going to a truck stop sucking whatever off through a glory hole, but
I think
I'm exaggerating a bit.
So if you have like the sex art on stage, getting back to the woman who throws up, wouldn't that be considered a visual art, like in some way acting? Because if you think about acting,
Performance art.
yeah,
Yes.
performance art. So you see like an actor puts all this work into their character and becomes that character. That's
method
considered
acting,
an
yes.
art form.
Right, like I said, I'm not trying to discredit it. I'm not trying to.
Oh,
I mean,
I know.
The title was "What is art and what is not art."
Yeah.
I know we said that, and as I said in the beginning, I know that I cannot call it art. I mean, I'm sorry. I know that I cannot call it not
I
art.
can't accept that it's art. I think it comes down to we each have our own preferences as to what we consider
Mhm.
art. Like when I moved up here to New York, my so-called art teacher, the only thing that she deemed to be art was anything realistically drawn, like face portraits, hands, or you go and do a
Bowls of
perspective
fruit.
drawing of like a building. She hated anime,
That's called
hated
photography.
cartoons of any kind, and refuse to accept any artwork, Kenneth. She would give it a D or an F or just go ahead and fail you if you kept doing it. I was like, oh, bitch, no, I don't think so. First of all, I hate realistic drawing because it's so fucking hard. The closest thing I can do realistically are eyes. And thank you, they're boring. If I'm going to draw something realistic, it's either getting horns, wings, a tail, something. So fuck you.
The only time I ever dip into realism is when I'm creating a scene from my own mind that is fantastical, like a landscape with a dragon flying over it, but I'm doing it in a realistic fashion as if I'm looking at it. That is the closest to realism I ever get.
Only time I did realism was to draw sexy ass Kate Winslet.
And see, here's I
this guy, I'm gonna punch him in his hairy face.
What's it like?
Did
you enlarge your boobs?
Don't worry about that. I'm talking about the guy that changed his mind on the damn wax project.
Anyways, I told her to block him until she was done with it. She wouldn't listen. She's paying the price.
Let's focus back here.
Actually, there was a point I wanted to make. Just recently, I saw on a Facebook post this piece of art that was a yellow circle, a blue square, and I think a red triangle on a white canvas, sold for like $6.7 million. Wow. Meanwhile, on a completely separate post on Tumblr, I found a picture that this guy hand drew with multiple colored felt tip pens and sand, clear sand that's glow in the dark. He did a picture of Pennywise as
I've seen that.
Yeah,
yes.
And it's got both Tim Curry and the new actor who plays Pennywise. And if you turn the lights off,
it glows in the dark.
He actually did 3 paintings. Phoenix. He did 3 of them. He did that one with both the Pennywises, where if you flip the lights on and off, you could see either one. And then he did one with the actual actors. So he did one with Skarsgård, who plays the new Pennywise. It would show just him. And then when you flip the lights, he turned into Pennywise. And the other one was Tim Curry. He did one with Tim Curry,
yeah, we
too.
saw that one, too.
So there's actually 3 of them.
Humble one, where it was the 2 of them together, and then they became the Pennywises when you turn the lights off. It was truly amazing artwork, the likes of which I honestly truly enjoyed.
And how much was that one sold for?
It wasn't.
At all?
Well, he didn't want to.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a personal thing. He's keeping it on his wall. But even still, it would have sold for hundreds of dollars. Hundreds, not millions.
Yeah, not millions.
I've seen speed artists.
The guy that paints them upside down.
Oh yeah, where they're spinning the shit and just
and they make maybe 50 a pop. Yeah. Whereas I feel they should be making a fuck ton more than that.
Plus tips, because it is a performance art.
Plus tips,
they're showing off with it. But even still,
for the crap that they make, which is not crap, I don't know why I said crap. For the gems that they make, damn, I want a copy of every single one of those and just fill an entire fucking room with it.
I've seen an artist in 3 minutes create, and I'm going to use the term artist because they do actually deserve that term. In 3 minutes, this beautiful, realistic scene of this galaxy swirling around another galaxy and meeting in a black hole in the middle, and it is beautifully done, high detailed, looks like you took a picture with the Hubble telescope. And he did this with spray paint.
Yep.
In 3 minutes while spinning a board. I'm like, you know what? That should have been millions of dollars. He sold it for $35.
Yeah, where's my copy, damn it?
Well, it just people wonder, well, why can't I be an artist? Maybe my mind just isn't open enough.
No, you just don't suck enough dick.
Or I don't.
May I interject, guys?
Yes.
Please do. You are the artist, V.
So, this is the whole thing about what grinds my gears when it comes to the whole thing about art, not art, selling it, not selling it. A lot of the times from all the things that I've created, and my bread and butter is abstract stuff, including my abstract recreation